Up on Mountain News this morning, a woman in Pike County is charged with domestic violence after a disagreement ended in a stabbing. And the people of Letcher County expressed their outrage after the county bumps up the cost of trash pickup by nearly 60%.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Well, good morning, y'all. It is almost 6:31 here. I'm Dakota Makris. Good morning to you. Brandon and I, during the 6 o'clock, we talked about second winds, and I think I found mine. But I think Brandon's is still out there blowing around because you still haven't gotten yours.
It's still out there. We just got to try to get to it here.
Yeah, you'll probably get
one. Happen about 9 o'clock.
Yeah, or noon or something like that.
Exactly.
Yep. And then you'll probably text me, I got my second wind.
Yeah, exactly. Then that'll be about time for taking a nap, and it won't happen.
Hey, that's about dinner time, noon. So
noon, forget that. Dinner time's at 9 o'clock this morning.
Oh, well, you've been up longer than me. I forget.
That's exactly right. So anyway, let's take a look and see what's going on across our region this morning. UVA-wise, a bit on the chilly side. 37, though, one of the warmer spots in the region this morning. 28 there in Clintwood and Jonesville. 32, London and Somerset. 29 now in Irvine as well. 39 in Jackson and in Logan this morning. 38 in Prestonsburg. 37 in Pikeville. Next few hours, we're going to head up. Low 60s, mid 60s this afternoon. Lots of sunshine. Get out there and enjoy it. Big changes are coming as we head toward the last day of March and the first day of April. Dakota?
Brandon, appreciate it. One Pike County woman is in jail charged with domestic violence after a discussion ended in a stabbing. Our buddy Forbes has more from officers at the Pikeville Police Department about that situation.
Reports say it started as a discussion about cleaning and custody issues.
Escalated into a violent event. Pretty severe stabbing.
Bringing officers with the Pikeville Police Department to the Scholar House on Sad Avenue.
They arrive on scene, locate the apartment and the female victim that had been cut with they found out later, been hit with a meat cleaver type knife.
Katie Hurley, 24, is said to have stabbed her mother during the argument and left the apartment.
The first thing they want to do is take care of the wounded. Let's see what we can do. We got to get here safely, because we don't know if the perpetrator is still on scene, still armed.
With Heather Hinkle holding a towel to her injured arm, Lieutenant Chad Branham checked on the two kids who were left in the home.
To hear Lieutenant Branham talk about when he's seen the children and seen one of them covered with blood, he thought, oh God, we've got an injured child here that's also been cut or stabbed. Kind of find out it wasn't the child, it was the blood from the grandma basically on the child.
The knife used was located and Hurley was arrested while returning to the scene more than an hour later. She was taken to the Pike County Detention Center, but officers say the injury and potential trauma remain.
Because you got kids in the scene seeing this chaos and seeing, what damage has that done to when small children see this kind of violence.
In Pikeville, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
Hurley is charged with second-degree assault and endangering the welfare of a minor. Two people from Corbin are expected to spend decades behind bars in a Laurel County murder case. Christy and Joseph McFadden pleaded guilty to murdering Christy's mother, Sherry Rose. Rose's body was found in Clay County in 2008. She had been stabbed in the neck. Christy and Joseph McFadden both received a recommended sentence of more than 3.5 decades behind bars on various charges. A Floyd County man is being charged with assault in Laurel County. Deputies say they were called to a home off Riverside Loop for a woman hanging out a window and screaming for help. Deputies say they saw 57-year-old John Philip Duff hitting a woman in the head. After a brief fight, he was charged with assault and resisting arrest and taken to the Laurel County Correctional Center. One person is dead after a house fire over in McCreary County. The man was found dead in his home Wednesday morning after the fire. Kentucky State Police say DNA had to be taken from him to identify him. His body was taken to the State Medical Examiner's office for an autopsy. KSP is leading the investigation into what caused the fire. In Pulaski County, multiple crews battled a fire last evening at a Somerset hotel. It happened at the Best Western next to Lowe's. At one time, flames could be seen shooting from the roof. It's not known what started the fire. No injuries were reported. This is the second major fire in Somerset in the last week. And at 8 a.m. yesterday, members of the Mount Vernon, Brindle Ridge, and Broadhead fire departments were called to a fire at a garage near the Renfro Valley Entertainment Center on US 25. Crews ended up fighting the fire for about 2 hours and had to shut down the road so they could access a fire hydrant on the other side of it. The garage was destroyed, but no other nearby buildings were damaged. People in Letcher County say they are outraged about having to pay more for trash pickup. The Letcher County Judge Executive's office announced monthly service fees would increase to $25. That's a 58.7% increase from $15.75. One woman told us she is frustrated with the jump in price.
I've always paid, I've never been late, and I don't feel that it's fair for the residents that pay keep getting it raised when others go without paying.
It's not fair for half the population to pay the full, pay for everybody else. So we're actively searching those folks out and getting those bills cleared up.
Well, Judge Executive Terry Adams says once trucks and facilities receive upgrades, hopefully the county will be able to lower the rates. As we get in a bit of a deeper spring, we are seeing what some are calling spring resiliency 8 months after this devastating July flood. While spring may be a playing factor, some of the progress people are seeing is because groups are making their way back to the mountains to help rebuild. Our Olivia Calfee met a large crew of about 80 people from across the country who are building a home from the ground up in Letcher County.
God's Pit Crew, a nonprofit organization out of Danville, Virginia, is back 8 months later because staff says they know work still needs to be done.
There's still need. A lot of times something will hit, you'll have some quick and immediate help, but we try to have different facets of our response. We have immediate and then we have long-term, and this is a part of our long-term recovery effort for this area.
Working from sunrise to sunset to build a roughly 1,500 square foot home in less than 2 weeks.
It's going to take us roughly 13 days from foundation to finished, and that means decorated. There'll be kitchen, plates in the cabinets and silverware in the drawers. All they have to do is walk in and enjoy their new home.
The crew of about 80 volunteers is made up of people from multiple states. 12-year-old Eli Willard from Virginia says his teachers gave him his schoolwork early so he could miss school to help rebuild.
I like being able to make an impact on other people's lives so that the family can resume to somewhat normal.
And volunteer Linda Combs from Minnesota says she remembers seeing the devastation on the news 8 months ago.
Finally, we get to do something about it, feeling like I'm part of the solution, that I'm part of helping a family, doing my part, even if it's small. It's what it's all about.
Reminding the people of Eastern Kentucky that no matter how many months have passed,
8 months later and you still see the devastation and your heart just breaks, I think people sometimes think that it's there and they forget about it, but we don't. This organization doesn't.
Good people are still traveling long distances to remind Eastern Kentuckians
God's love is real and that He will never forsake them.
That was Olivia Calfee reporting. COO Brandon Knuckles says they rely on donations to keep their organization running and says rebuilds like the one you just saw cost around $200,000.
6:39 here on this Thursday morning. A quiet start to the day downtown Whitesburg there on Main Street. Traffic will get moving here pretty soon, and a bit of a chill in the air. 20s in Jonesville and Clintwood, also in Irvin, mid to upper 30s across most of the rest of the region. Some low 30s back out toward I-75 and Lake Cumberland. 39 Jackson, and that's it. Everybody else is in the upper 30s there, 37 and 38 across parts of the area. Your out the door forecast is going to feature some warmer air later today. Lots of sunshine, some warmth, and dry conditions. Enjoy it. Big changes start as early as tomorrow and carry us into the first days of April. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you so much. Still to come here on Mountain News this morning, Johnson & Johnson decides to halt its efforts to create a vaccine for RSV right before it was about to reach some of its final clinical trials. That's coming up.